How to make chicken parmesan. To bacon, slice, strips, bacon in, heat medium, and stir till crispy. Remove, chop till it looks like this. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 4 cloves of sliced garlic, 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes. Saute until fragrant. Enough crushed tomatoes. Season to taste with salt, small pinch of sugar. Add your bacon back and stir. Simmer for 5 minutes. Chicken breast. Just cut, open it up. Little book. Plastic wrap. Pound and flatten it. 1/4 inch thick. All-purpose flour, 2 eggs, whiskey business. Your flour with salt. Mix together, into the flour. Both sides, then into your egg. Both sides again. And go breadcrumbs. So it looks like this. Bottom pan. Oil, about 1/2 inch. Heat medium high. And your chicken. 2 to 3 minutes. Flip. 2 to 3 more minutes. Drain. Season to taste with salt. 2 cups mozzarella. 1 cup Parmigiano Reggiano. Mix. Chicken. Sauce. Don't be shy. Cheese. Under the broiler. Oh yeah. And then, ooh, sheesh.
We've been seeing these tacos everywhere, so today I'm gonna show you guys how to make them. You're gonna start out with some good cuts of beef. I'm using beef chuck, AKA the shoulder, seasoned with salt and pepper, and give them a sear for about 30 seconds aside just to add a little bit of color, which is gonna add flavor for later. Take them out, chop up an onion, 5 cloves of garlic, go in with those, the same pot. You're gonna go in with equal parts of beef stock and water, bring those to a simmer. Go in with some dried chili peppers. I use 2 here. Go in with some wet chipotle peppers as well. This is gonna add a delicious smoky flavor. And then you're gonna go in with some crushed tomatoes. Season with bay leaves, salt, cumin, Mexican oregano, and some lime juice. Throw all your meat back in there. And an hour later, you're gonna take all the other solids out. We're talking the peppers, the onions, the garlic. Throw them all into a blender. Blend them up into a nice puree. Pour that back into the pot, and you're gonna have to let that simmer for about 3 hours. In 3 hours, I'll have the final product. Come back.
Mashed potatoes should not have lumps. These are the best. Another episode, back to basics.
3 pounds russet potatoes, or you can use Yukon Golds. Wash them, don't be dirty.
1-inch dice.
Fill with cold water so they cook evenly. Bring to a bubble over high heat.
Toast your salt vigorously.
Bubble 10 to 12 minutes. Return to the pot. The heat of the pot will evaporate the excess moisture.
Don't skip this step. If you do, they'll be watery. Let it set 5 minutes. 3/4 cup unsalted butter. 1/2 cup heavy cream. Melt the butter and warm the cream medium-low heat. Use a ricer or a food mill. No lumps.
Add the butter and the cream.
Truffle salt because you fancy. Truffle oil because you're extra fancy.
Did your mom just tell you there's food at home for the millionth time? Then you open up the fridge, but of course you have no idea what to cook? Child, don't worry. I'm August and I'm going to help you learn how to cook. Welcome to Food TikTok. We're going to cover the basics and make some poppin', easy, affordable recipes. Because we don't all got it like that. So hit that follow button, share this video, and let's get to cooking.
1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Mix it all together. Divide into 12 and place on a prepared baking sheet at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. Boom.
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and I just realized my culinary idol, Chef Gordon Ramsay, followed me on TikTok.
Do you know what you're doing now?
Yes, Chef!
Let's go.
Yes, Chef!
When I was 12 years old, I had the life-changing opportunity to learn from Chef Ramsay on season 6 of MasterChef Junior, and to celebrate this very exciting moment, I decided to recreate his notoriously difficult signature dish, the beef Wellington. Chef Ramsay, if you're watching this, it would mean the world to me if you reacted to this video and let me know how I did. Step 1 is to season a filet mignon steak with salt and pepper and then sear it in the pan, which is the first layer of flavor. Then you make the mushroom duxelle, which is basically blended up mushrooms that you saute to get rid of all the water. To start assembling the Wellington, we add a layer of Parma ham on top of a sheet of plastic wrap, then we add the duxelle, and then the steak using the plastic to wrap it tightly and refrigerate for 20 minutes. Then I brush the layer of puff pastry with egg wash to help it stick, wrapped the beef Wellington in the puff pastry, and then scored it and sprinkled it with a little bit of sea salt. The welly bakes at 200 degrees Celsius for about 25 minutes and then rests for 10. Finish with the red wine reduction sauce. And Chef, I hope I made you proud.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how I made this pizza pot pie. First I took some marinara sauce,
that I made homemade, but you can use jarred. And I added 2 pieces of Asiago, some freshly grated mozzarella, 3 pieces of provolone cheese. Yes, it's really cheesy. I like pepperoni mushrooms, so we did sauteed mushrooms, a ton of pepperoni, and then more marinara sauce on top. Then you're going to take your pizza dough. I made homemade, but you could do it from the can. Wrap it around your bowl really tight like this, and then you're going to make a garlic, oregano, parsley oil. This is olive oil that you're going to brush on the top of the pizza pot pie before baking. You're going to bake it at 400 degrees for about, I think it was about 20 minutes, but you just want to bake it until the crust is nice and brown on top. Pull it out, and then while it's still hot, rub more of this olive oil on top. Then you're going to take a plate, put it on top, and you're going to flip the pot pie over, run your knife around to make it loose, and look, this is so delicious. Enjoy.
If you love tacos, you have to make this. I'm not even kidding. It's the best thing we've ever eaten in our lives. So you brown some beef in a pot, you add some beef stock, some bone broth, and some water to that. And then to that, you add a whole onion, a whole thing of garlic, you add some chili, some carrots, a bunch of bay leaves, and some thyme as well. And you let that cook for an hour until all the veggies are like all soft and mushy. And then you take all the veggies out and put them into a blender. And listen, the real Mexican recipe has a bunch of dried chilies as well. You can't get those in Australia, so I just added chili flakes. And then you add some tomatoes, you add some more bay leaves, some cumin powder, some cloves, and then you mix that all up. And I also added some smoked paprika powder. I don't know why. I think I did for color. Who cares? Anyways. And then you sift that sauce back into the pot to get out all the chunky bits, and you let it cook in that for 3 hours. And I also topped it up with water like every 40 minutes to keep it like wet. But look how nice it pulls apart after 3 hours. And then you dip the tortilla in the sauce, you put some meat on there, you put some sauce and some cheese on there, and also some onion and coriander. You fold it up, and oh my goodness, you're welcome. It's so good. I love it.
Trust me when I say this is how you make a high-level steak. What better way to celebrate 1 million followers by showing you how I cook the best filet mignon ever? Now let's go! Temper 30 minutes, then lightly cover in oil. Rosemary salt! If you know, you know. Sergeant Gilbert reporting for duty. Finely ground. Now roll the edge. Bring your pan up to medium-high heat. Little avocado oil, and sear. Flip after about a minute. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the technique. Now rest 2 minutes. Drop the heat of the pan to low, and add 5 tablespoons of butter. When the butter's starting to foam, put the steak back. Constantly baste. Every 30 seconds, turn the meat. Keep basting. When it hits about 90 internal, rest 5 minutes. Drop some crushed garlic in your butter. Heat back on, steak back in, and continue to baste. Drop in some thyme. When it hits 125 internal, blast the heat and baste for 1 minute. Now, one final 6-minute rest. Before we do the reveal, if you're getting value from this, please remember to like the post. And if you want to become a god in the kitchen, just hit that follow button. Woo! Oh my lord. You know I love you, Anima!
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and I'm going to show you how to make the perfect steak. This is a classic. Sear to golden perfection on the outside and baste it with butter, garlic, and herbs. A not so subtle flex, but a few short years ago, this is the dish that ended up getting me on MasterChef Junior, so I trust the process.
Restaurant quality, beyond belief. Absolutely the dish of the night. Ariana!
Step 1 is to season your steak of choice. I used ribeye with salt and pepper on both sides. Then I get a super hot cast iron pan, add oil, get that super hot, and then add the steak in there. After about 3 minutes, the steak should be perfectly golden on one side, so flip it over and get the other side. Now here's the secret. After the steak is seared on both sides, I add in 2 crushed cloves of garlic, a bunch of fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage, and a couple tablespoons of butter, and baste that over the steak. This creates an oven around the steak which helps infuse it with all those flavors and cook it to perfection. Chef Ramsay, if you're watching this, I hope I made you proud.
So this morning, I woke up around 4 a.m. after my husband unlocked the basement where I live, because he said that's where I belong as a woman, and I totally respect his wishes. After I asked him if I could at least live in the cupboard under the stairs like Harry Potter, he said, "You're not the chosen one, bitch," and threw up all over me. After I cleaned up his vomit, I tidied up the entire house and told my grandmother about his actions. She told me that my grandfather treated her the exact same way, and as he should. She told me to suck it up and that I deserve it. And I totally agree. I love her wisdom. After cleaning up the entire house, meal prepping for the next week, checking the mail, bathing him, and finishing him and the kids' laundry, I made him these fresh donuts from scratch. I know my place as a woman, and all of you should too. Bon appetit.
Hey guys, let's make an omelette, shall we? First, we're gonna need 3 eggs. Duh. Crack! That was a fail. And then we're gonna whip it up until it's blended and consistent. I don't know. Some bell pepper. Chop it up. Shh. Some cherry tomatoes. Again, chop it up. Chop, chop, chop. Some spinach. Mix the veggies together, I guess. And then some butter face for the eggs. And then cook the eggs and put it on low heat for 10 hours or 11 or 12. I don't really care. I don't know. And then put the veggies on top of the eggs. And then try to fold it, but it's not necessary. But good luck. And then finish. Ta-da, my boyfriend made it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey.
Hash browns are for wimps. You can do better. We're making a potato galette. It's French. Peel 1 large potato. Cheesecloth. Grate. Twist and wring. Wring out the excess moisture. Heat 8-inch skillet, medium-low heat. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons canola oil, peanut oil, or leftover bacon fat. Add half of the potato. Freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Remaining potato on top. Salt. Cook 5 to 6 minutes until golden on the bottom. Turn up the heat to medium to make sure it's nice and golden. 1 to 2 minutes. See how it's nicely golden around the edges? It's time to flip. Flip. Add a little more oil so it doesn't burn. Cook medium-low heat 5 to 6 more minutes. Salt, pepper, parsley, Parmigiano Reggiano, dill. Oh yeah.